Cheers! Oh man, I failed. I didn't even open my beer. Oh, come on.
You failed miserably.
Oh,
wow.
You broke your can.
I need a screwdriver.
You got it now? Very good. All right.
Cheers. Celebration. We got a new budget supercar. This is our 2017 budget supercar. As promised, it is time to unveil this thing. It's right behind that door. What were the things I gave away, the hints I gave away about it? 2 seats, 400 horsepower. Did I say anything else about it? Start giving away more hints. The engine is in the front.
And you said there were no fake rear seats.
No fake rear seats. Rear wheel drive, not all wheel drive.
Those are your bets.
And...
Oh, look what just fell in my beer.
We're not playing that out.
I'm super good at this.
I'm not gonna finish this one.
Time out. Jeff needs a new beer.
I'm still finishing my beer. Perfect then.
Excuse me, Jeff.
How does it feel?
There we go.
Alright, so there's a car.
So fresh and so clean.
Welcome to new P.S. for Build Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Drift spec. Let's bring it in. Alright, so this car is obviously not as damaged as the last build. The Evora build was really focused on getting the car, getting it back kind of to stock with some small mods, different body parts and stuff like that. This build is a whole different challenge, it's a whole different concept. So we got this car at auction, we bought it through Dash Hub. Dash Hub is a sponsor of BS for Build, and they are a broker. So when I buy cars at auction, a lot of states you need brokers, and that's what Dash Hub did with me and this car to hook us up with buying this car. We actually bought it from New York. So I'll talk a little bit more about Dash Hub later, but back to the car and the build idea. So I wanted to get a car with a little bit less damage so we could actually get really creative with what we did. So as you can see, we have a busted up front fender. These front fenders are fiberglass, just like on the Evora. Busted up all the way down. Headlights destroyed as well. Comes off here. Hood is irreparably damaged. What's up, Rob Dom? And, oh man, it's resting on that fender, which is a keeper, which is a bummer. But anyway, so let me get that off of there real quick. Oh, it's just gouging everything. So hood is irreparably damaged. We're going to take that off pretty soon. This other fender can be repaired. Headlight can be repaired. And then the impact bar here is toast too. Airbags didn't go off though, so as far as I know. Now, I've never driven this car. Actually, I haven't even sat inside it. But as far as I know, the engine should run. And yeah, the airbags have not blown as far as I know. I'm not really positive about that. But yeah, impact bar, front impact bar is gone. There's some aero stuff that's gone. Front bumper's gone too. And then the windshield is smashed. The roof is a little bit scuffed up. But other than that, from about here back, the car is not really that damaged. Let me show you on the inside. It's a common problem with these cars. First thing that's awesome is Aston Martin doors open like at an upward angle, which is pretty damn cool. So they actually open up, and they have a nice like hydraulic shock in there. They have like a strut in there, so that's pretty cool. And then Adrian, if you want to come on over here. Now I haven't spent much time in here, but it's real nice and clean. It's got the Alcantara leather top, or I don't know if Alcantara is its own thing. It's a special animal from the Alps. Anyways, leather seats. 6-speed manual transmission, which is like, finally, we got a manual transmission car. I think the interior is designed by Ford, so it's not that great. Previous owner might have been a smoker. After a little bit of archaeology, I saw a little spider web and a cigarette ash, but I'm not really sure. We'll dig into this car a little bit more later and see if we can find anything interesting. But there's no burn marks anywhere, which is a good sign of a smoker. Normally they burn. Oh, no, that might be a water droplet. Anyways, so that's the interior of the car. And let me show you around the back. So suspension in the rear should be working fine. Everything, you know, as far as we know, should have been working. You guys do.
Oh, don't mind us. It's fine.
Yeah.
See here.
This side's real nice and clean, and then we got this fender here. All right, so the game plan with this car is much different than with the Lotus. With the Lotus, we were just trying to kind of get it back to stock. I wanted a nice daily driver, exotic car. this is very different. This car is for something I've been getting into a lot more lately, which is drifting. And that's why, hence the manual transmission, front engine. I thought it would be an absolute killer idea to get a supercar or an exotic car, whatever you want to call it. I consider this a supercar because that's an aluminum chassis under there, but it is front engine, which is not normal. Aluminum chassis, rear wheel drive, small, high horsepower V8, you know, so it's kind of a supercar, whatever. Anyways, get an exotic and make it a drift car. To do that, I didn't want to have a mid-engine car, so that kind of took out the Lambos and the Ferraris and the other things like that. There's like the, California is the front engine Ferrari. But these are a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable, and I was able to get this one in manual without too much damage for a reasonable price. A lot more expensive than any car I've ever bought before though, but still a reasonable price. And the parts for these cars are absolutely no joke. But luckily we don't need that many. So what are we doing? How are we gonna make it a drift car? That is gonna be interesting, and that's what we're gonna figure out. We're gonna do this build in a couple phases. The first phase is we're going to kind of repair it back to stock. The second phase is we're gonna start doing drift modifications, get it out on the track. And then the third phase, we're gonna go absolutely crazy with it. And the plan is to 2JZ swap this car and do a wide body kit. So it's gonna be wide body, 2JZ swapped, James Bond drift car. I also want James Bond things, so I'm definitely thinking about rocket launchers, ejector seat, and for sure smoke canisters. Those are all classic James Bond things from some of my favorite Bond like tricks that they did in cars. We're definitely gonna have detachable smoke canisters in the back, rocket launchers, ejector seat. Gotta do the ejector seat too. Kind of like Fast and Furious. What was that one where the Miami one where they kick people out of the car? So 2JZ swapping this car is not as easy as it sounds, because although there is room, it looks like there's room, this car is very interesting because the engine sits right about here, and then it just sends this little thing they call a torque tube all the way through the back, and the transmission is in the rear. So my plan would be, I don't want to kill that thing drifting. It's got 23,000 miles, this car has 23,100 miles on it, so it should be able to hold up to some punishment, but you break parts drifting, and I don't want to be trying to fix a rear-mounted transmission or buy any Aston Martin parts. So my thought here was rip out the engine, torque tube, and the rear mount transmission and sell those things to fund 2JZ, figure out how to fit a transmission in here, then new differential, rear axles, rear end setup. Hence, then we get that wide body out of it and a bunch of other stuff.
You're crazy. That's crazy.
Jeff. So that'd be the game plan. This engine has 400 horsepower. I'm sure we could turn it up a little bit more, but that's not really what I want to do. So for the first stage, we're just going to finish it up, do some nice touches, and then drive the hell out of it and see how it goes. So I know my vision is a little bit out there, and the phases and stuff is probably a little bit hard to grasp. But really, I want to be able to get some wheel time in the car before we go all nutty on it and rip it apart and spend months trying to motor swap it. So that's kind of it. My buddy Khyzyl Saleem has done a concept rendering of this car of kind of what I want it to look like, and I've done one too. Kind of, not really. Actually, I did one that's just funny. The theme for this build I really wanted to be is what if Bond was into drifting? And that's really what I want it to seem like. So there's that, and then there's Khyzyl's rendering that I think is really, really awesome. I put links to his stuff in the description. So, the one big thing that we gotta double check if we're gonna be able to do this, I happen to have a 2JZ motor sitting right next to me. If I wanna fit a 2JZ in here now, I should do some measurement, and I think that we might as well do a front end breakdown. I got Adrian here, I got Jeff here. Figured let's have some fun, drink a couple beers, and rip the front of this car apart. It's always fun figuring out what's up with British engineering. I mean, this could be a 5-day long project, but I figured let's give it a shot and start pulling it apart right now. All right, so front end breakdown. I'm gonna have the guys take off the hood while I work on figuring out the fender, and then once I figured out how to take off the fender on the broken fender, then we'll go on to the only somewhat broken fender. This is just slightly detached. That's like Lotus level of stuff I can fix. And then we'll rip all this off, and I want to get down to hood off, fender off, headlight off, so it's all bare, and we can get a better look at things. Up Update time! All right, so front bumper was removed by the accident. Done. Hood removed by the guys. That was not too hard. It's got, you know, it's got its built-in like little strut guides and stuff like that. Interesting oh shit cable attached here that attaches to the hood in case the hood flies up like it did in this case. And then fender came off without too much trouble. This is that shock that goes to the door, which was shown earlier. It's pretty cool. There's no fender liners here. Somebody call TJ Hunt. We need to get more fender liners. But that's interesting. I don't know like why they would have taken them off after the accident. I don't know if the car didn't have any. Some Aston owner let me know about that. That's kind of crazy. I see some bolt holes here that look like they're for fender liners. I don't know. And then I accidentally ripped a piece of this. So this thing is super ghetto and just hangs on here by like hopes and dreams, which to me tells me I got perfect space to build a rocket launcher. That's my thought, or rocket hiding position maybe. I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. Maybe we can build something that like, kind of comes out and the rockets come out from it. Or maybe not. Maybe no rockets. So that's that side. Now I gotta jump over to the other side. And then we're also playing with some, we got a old leftover radiator right here. We're playing with radiator hoses to see if maybe we could get some cooling fluids in this car to maybe be able to turn it on. We'll see. It's all stripped down. We got the fenders off, got all the broken stuff off. Everything's nice, it's straight and aligned. Got a very, very good starting point for this car. I'm so excited. Let's grab that radiator and see if we tighten down these hoses. If we can manage to get them to go in the right spot, if we tighten them down, what that'll mean. And if they will tighten down on that radiator. And we'll see if maybe we can get a start out of this thing. We stole the radiator from the BRZ. Somebody tell 6-speed I need another one of these. All right, we got a couple gallons of water. We're gonna fill up the coolant system, figure out a way to jumpstart this baby, and turn it around, get ready for shop skids. While Jeff was filling our radiator, I did measurements. The 2JZ should fit. And I've been thinking about it, and I just decided this right now. Even if the 2JZ doesn't fit, we'll put something in here that does fit. Long-term solution for this car, no Aston Martin motor and transmission. We're gonna swap it in some cool way, but I'd like to try 2JZ. That's why we're 2JZ swapping the BRZ. One of the reasons is so I can learn about those platforms, learn about the ins and outs of it, and how we might be able to apply it here. It's a pretty wide engine bay, but it is the width that'll kill us. The depth should be just fine, as long as it's not like too tall. There's quite a bit of front end here that we can work with. All right, we gotta figure out a way to jumpstart this thing. The battery's completely dead. All right, we got power, we got water, we got gasoline. Let's see if we can get this thing to start.
America.
How do I make this? We don't have enough power. Oh no, that short-circuited our power. We lost power.
Yeah,
hang on.
I heard something click.
Good. All right, try number 2. There. Aston Martin, power, beauty, and soul. And not enough battery. We've applied more power in a pretty stupid way. Here we go. Last try. If this doesn't work, we're going to the bar. Nope. Not enough juice. We tried, guys. We really tried. And the next one will get it. All right, guys. So while that charges up, I want to tell you about what we got for this car. We got shirts coming out sooner than later. They'll probably come out when we start working on it. But for right now, we got these awesome decals that I've been working on. So we have B is for Bond decals in the Aston Martin font, which I'm showing you right now. I love this decal. It looks sick. We got it in 2 sizes, like a medium and a really small. And then to fit the theme of me losing my job and then going out and buying a supercar or whatever, a British sports car, we got the hashtag B is for broke decals. And I love these things. They come in medium and small as well. If you don't like the hashtag part of it, you can obviously just peel it off and just do the B is for broke, or you can do the hashtag B is for broke. That will be a hashtag that we will be using on this project a lot after I have to spend 800 bucks on a fender. But if you want to help out and support this build, if you're amped on this like I am, if you want to see this thing drifting, go ahead and pick up some of those decals to show your support. It would mean a lot. Speaking of showing support, I want to show support to our sponsor. Our sponsor is Dash Hub. So like I said earlier, you guys know I buy a ton of my cars at auction. This is no different. In a lot of states, in Oregon you don't always have to have different licenses and stuff like that, but in a lot of states you need to use a broker. So through Dash Hub you can buy all the cars that I ever buy on auction, and they act as a broker to help you make that deal. It's a really sweet service, and they're one of the reasons that I ended up getting this car. Like I was talking with them and we were trying to get a car going as a sponsored car through Dash Hub, and they were like, this is a sick thing, let us help you out with it, and we can get it. And they kind of kicked me in the ass a little bit on this, and I pulled the trigger. And I couldn't be happier. It looks beautiful, and it's gonna be so much fun. 400 horsepower V8. It's kind of funny, I think this is a Ford V8 motor, which is ridiculous because I just got done dealing with one in the other car. But that's why it's got to go after not too long. If any of you guys were wondering, remember the race thing that I was talking about in 3 videos ago, this is my candidate. We will put a 700 horsepower 2JZ motor in this thing, and then it'll be able to, 700 wheel horsepower, and we'll be able to hopefully run with the best of them. That's my idea. But we're gonna set it up for drift. It's gonna be built for drift and meant for drift, but that doesn't mean that it won't do well on a track. It should do just fine. All right, the battery's charged long enough. I wanna try and start it one more time. All right guys, that is a wrap. Happy to show you the new budget supercar. This build should get started in the not too long future. I'm gonna do some research, source some parts, and get that front end put back together so I can start driving it around and doing some skids. It's gonna be an awesome time. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you want to support, head over to bsforbuild.com, scroll down to the shop, pick up any of that stuff, check out our new decals. I think you guys will like them. We got shirts coming for this car. As soon as we do another episode of it, we will throw out some shirts for that. If you want to find us in more places, we are bsforbuild on Instagram and bsforbuild on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for the love. I'm very excited for this build to get started, but of course it won't get started for a little bit because I always do this to you guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why I do it. I just can't leave it sitting in the driveway and not share. My bad. Thanks to Jeff for hanging out. Catch you guys on the next one. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace!